things you need to know about Café Crème. Number one, shadows. We use a lot of shadows inside this collection. So I'm going to walk you through a few places that has shadows. Let's get started. The first type of shadow that we're using is a drop shadow, and it's connected to our elements here. And if you don't like the type of drop shadow, you want to change the shadow, then all we did was head to elements and type in shadow in the search bar, and then you'll see that a whole bunch of shadow options come up that you can play around with. In order to ungroup it, if you want to move the shadow around, just click on the element and you'll see this toolbar pop up, and you can just ungroup it and then move them around independently of one another. So that's a pretty easy one, and you'll notice that it is in a few places. Okay, the next shadow that we used is a gradient shadow. So in order to grab the text below, you're gonna have to move this entire shadow out of the way and then change the text and then just move the shadow. And the last shadow that we used for this design was a gradient, and this is manually made, so this is very cool because you can change it to whatever your brand color is. In this example, we used the color of the collection, so it was a dark brown, but if your brand color isn't dark brown, then all you would do is head to the gradient here and then change the color to whatever it is your brand color is. Number two is one of my favorite tricks. It is transparency. So over a lot of these images, what we've done in order to create that cohesive look, so if we go back to grid view and we look at everything together, you'll notice that all the colors work really well together. They all look like it's like we had a professional photographer go out, and with the exception of these GIFs, but everything else looks like we had a professional photographer go out and shoot these photos that all look impossibly perfect together. But that's not the case. What we actually did was we added some transparency to the photos and added our dominant, darkest brand color behind. So for this collection, the dominant color is this dark brown color, and we could easily change that to your brand color. Let's say it was this bright orange, and you can see that it just seeps through the photo slightly, and that gives it a little bit of, if you did that with every single photo in this collection, it would give it a cohesive look with a little touch of your brand recognition in there without being over the top. So when it's time to add your own photos into this design, let's say that I had a really bright pink, very fun brand, and I added my picture into the design. Well, right now there's a little bit of brown seeping through, so I'm going to head up to the color selector and I'm just going to select this pink here, just because. Let's make it a little bit darker even. Let's just say that that was your brand color. Now you have your own brand color seeping through. Now this text is a little hard to read, so on top of the transparency, what I would suggest is that you head to adjust and then just reduce the brightness ever so slightly. It doesn't have to be that dramatic. You don't need that. You just want to reduce it until you can read the text without any issues. And we can still see the photo beautifully, but now it is easier to read the text. Number three, GIFs. This is one of my, if not my favorite post in this entire collection because it's fun and it can showcase your personality to your audience really, really well and bring some levity to real estate issues that you see occurring time and time again. But for the sake of this tutorial, what I'm going to show you is how you can actually change these GIFs so that they're relevant to whatever you want to talk about here. So in order to find GIFs directly inside of Canva, we're going to head to the app section on your left-hand toolbar, and in the search bar, we're going to type in Giphy. And we're going to click on that button, and then right away it adds it to our left-hand toolbar. I might have to scroll a bit. You might have to scroll a bit too, depending on how many folders you have on the side, but it will show up on the side here. Now, once you're in Giphy, this is up to you to find GIFs that match this tone. So what I wanted was, I thought of different types of reactions that would be so inappropriate. So I typed in laughing, I typed in, serious no, I typed in suave, laid back, nod and smile type thing. And then I got these GIFs. So the trick is to search for the type of reaction you're looking for. Let me just type in laughing. And it's as easy as that. Number 4, square versus portrait posts. So we design all of our posts in portrait mode because they take up more of a phone screen, and everybody who's on Instagram is looking at it on their phones. So we want to take up as much as the screen as possible. So we always design in portrait mode. However, if you want to know what it would look like on your grid, then all you have to do is head to File, View Settings, and Show Rulers and Guides. And we have added rulers that will show you where your post will be cropped on Instagram. So for most of these posts, what we've done is made sure that all relevant information is inside these crop marks. But for things like this, for example, this open house, you'll notice that it is cut off slightly. So if you don't want that to be the case, then first we're gonna have to move the shadow out of the way, bring this up, and then move the shadow back. And now nothing will get cropped when we add this to Instagram. Number 5, charts and graphs. We only have a few, and it's these guys here on the market post, and you can edit them and add whatever stats you want here and change the graph as well. If you click on it, you can head up here to the bar and change it to a progress bar, a progress ring, a radial progress, or a dial. You can also edit the colors, you can change the line weight, and you can change, obviously, the percentage. And a bonus tip for you, number 6, is how to use the Lead Guru posts and multi-purpose them so that you can get the most out of this collection. And that is to use the Lead Guru posts as an end slide to teachable content. So up here we have the teacher. So let's say you were to share this here, is your home spring market ready? We have the cover page, we have the 3 tips, and then we have want more. Instead of want more, you could add one of these Lead Guru end frames as a call to action to help you gain more leads. So you're combining the teacher and the Lead Guru. And it's a really great way to get the most out of this collection because you're using it with the teacher, but you're also using it on its own. You're multi-purposing it to get the most out of it. Because let's be honest, what we want is more leads on our lists. And that is it, my friends. Happy designing, and I hope you love Café Crème as much as I do.